in comparison to the other foams on the market, that is the only foam that seems to be going backwards. I don't know if that's just my perception or the other brands are just catching up, but ZoomX. So about 50K is done and dusted in this shoe. Now this is the Nike Vomero Plus, and these are my first impressions. But before we get into it, if you guys haven't done so already and you want to support the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with the specs, so this one is a neutral max cushioned daily trainer, and you're going to be able to pick it up in Australia for $260 or $180 in the US. Now in the weight, 275 grams or 9.7 ounces. Now that's in my size, a US 8.5, and in the stack, massive stack, 45 in the rear, 35 in the front, and that's going to give us a 10mm drop. And in the upper, so the material that they're using here is a engineered mesh. And I must say, the breathability in the shoe is quite good. Solid heel counter at the back, a plush amount of padding around the heel collar, and a very plush tongue. The tongue is not gusseted. We've got an interesting lacing system here. They've got these lace loops pretty much for the majority of the shoe, but then they've got a couple of eyelets at the top where you can do the runner's knot. Now in the lockdown department, pretty good here through the midfoot, no heel slippage in the back. In the fit, true to size in the length. The width is good. I'm going to say it's a little bit wide and a good amount of toe box volume. I'll actually go as far to say I think this fit for a daily trainer for my foot is probably one of the best out there. Build quality, excellent. Step in comfort is quite nice as well. And in the outsole, so they are using their high abrasion rubber, and they're using their waffle design as the tread pattern as well. And as you can see there, quite a lot of rubber on the bottom of the shoe. So pretty much the entirety of the shoe is covered. They've got some little gaps and stuff through the waffle design, and they've got a bit of a ring here that sort of just shadows the outside of the shoe there, with a little bit more rubber in the high wear areas here in the rear and up there on the toe. Now in the grip department, I have running this shoe in the wet already, and it was actually pretty good. So not up there with Puma grip, but certainly no complaints from me. And in the durability department, these lugs are showing signs of wear already, but that's pretty typical. I'm not concerned about this because it doesn't really affect the overall durability of the shoe. And in the midsole, just one big slab of ZoomX. So no plate within the shoe. Rigidity wise, it's a pretty stiff shoe here, but we've got a flex point there just under the forefoot, which I think is the best spot in the shoe to have it. Now in the geometry department, we have got a bit of a forefoot rocker here. So it's not super early, not super late, somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to say it's quite aggressive, especially for a training shoe. Got a little bit of a rear foot rocker there as well, but that's not so noticeable on the run. But this forefoot rocker, I think it's placed just in the right position where you can feel it on those slower paces. And before I get into the ride, I will just tell you the runs that I have done in this so far. So a 25km long run straight out of the box. And then 2-hour easy pace runs, so almost at 50 kilometers in the shoe. Now, I know the website says here it's an ultra soft and responsive ride. Do I agree with that? Well, not really. So I am reading on the side here, so ZoomX tuned for maximum cushioning. So what I can tell you is this ZoomX has been detuned for sure. So this is not the ZoomX that I experience in a race shoe, and it's certainly not the ZoomX that they use in the earlier models of the Invincible either, because with this ride, this huge slab of ZoomX, I think I was expecting something like the original Invincible, so super soft, squishy, crazy bounce. The ride was a bit wild and a bit unstable, and I think that's what I was expecting here. So I will report the shoe is not that. So yes, it is soft, yes, it's got some bounce, but they fixed the ZoomX up, so it's just a little bit more user-friendly. It's not so wild, it's not so unstable, and certainly tuned more for daily training. So is it a bad thing? No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the ride is incredibly comfortable, and it's certainly efficient enough, so it's not really soft and squishy, which is a good thing, because that to me resulted in this shoe feeling pretty good on the long run as well. So I didn't feel like I was digging it out of sand or anything. It actually popped along quite nicely. So this huge stack though, has got a few little stability issues. So mainly though when you're running on an uneven surface for me. So if I'm running just on a like a nice flat footpath or a road, no stability issues whatsoever. But if it does get a little bit wobbly when I'm starting to go on some pavers that are a little bit on the side, a little bit uneven, then yeah, it can get a little sketchy. So just watch out with that. But overall, super comfortable ride, soft, bouncy, but it's not that craziness that we might have experienced earlier on with ZoomX. So what I'm liking in this shoe so far is certainly the fit. So it does feel like the shoe has been made for my foot because it's just got the right amount of space at the front, just the right amount of width, especially for a training shoe. And I also like the ride. So even though the ZoomX has been detuned, I think it's a good thing because it does make it more user friendly for sure, and it is a super comfortable ride. And what I'm still figuring out is nothing really to do with the shoe, it's just ZoomX in general and the direction that it's heading. So overall as a foam, it seems to me, in comparison to the other foams on the market, that is the only foam that seems to be going backwards. I don't know if that's just my perception or the other brands are just catching up, but ZoomX just doesn't feel as exciting as it used to. And just wrapping up my first impressions here, well, so far so good. So there is absolutely nothing I don't like about the shoe. All my runs have been quite a pleasurable experience. I think the shoe ticks along quite nicely. It is super comfortable. Obviously, I think at this early stage, I think it's perfect for recovery days, easy days, and also long runs as well, because I actually quite enjoyed the long run when I had this on the foot. It didn't feel, as I said, it didn't feel too soft. It didn't feel too sluggish. So yeah, it ticked along quite nicely. So yeah, good signs in this one so far. My only thing is, which I've already mentioned, is just that I was just probably expecting a bit more out of the ZoomX foam. I was expecting a little bit more softness, a little bit more bounce. The wild just to be a little bit more wild, just like it was in the Invincible one. But as I said before, it's certainly not that. It's detuned a bit, and it's probably, yeah, it's far more suitable for more runners. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. Any questions you've got regarding this shoe, how it relates to anything else, because I have got a couple of shoes in mind that it's sort of close to. But yeah, hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.